So, hi guys, I hope you all are doing great and can hear us. Just let us know if you can hear us.
Show us. Can you hear us?
So, that's great. That's great. So, moving ahead, I am Nandini and I'm from Designhill, your host for the day. And I hope you all are doing great and keeping safe. I would like to welcome all of you for this workshop with Nicole. So once again, thank you so much, Nicole, for joining us today. For this workshop, the basics of modern calligraphy. And I see a lot of people have joined us today. So
Yes, great.
welcome all of you. So, today's event is brought to you by Designhill, world's leading creative marketplace that caters to the creative needs of businesses and individuals alike who can source high quality of designs from professional designers. And through its print on demand marketplace called PrintShop by Designhill, you can also buy 50 plus unique products with thousands of artworks created by a world class community of independent artists. So, moving ahead, let me introduce our speaker for the workshop. So we have Nicole Wiemer with us. Nicole is a passionate about lettering. She gives lettering workshops to children, adults, and professionals. And she's also leading the project Lettering in Deutschland with a partner to support lettering artists in Germany. So thank you so much, Nicole, for taking out the time from your schedule and joining us today for this workshop.
Thank you for having me.
So before we start this session, let's quickly look at what PrintShop by Designhill is all about.
Sorry, can you repeat?
So that was all about PrintShop by Designhill, and I see a lot of you have already joined us. So I think this is the perfect time to start this workshop. And before we move ahead, I wanna quickly just tell you two or three things that we will also take up some questions in between the workshop. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the question section on your screen. So Nicole, please give us a quick intro about yourself to the audience and let's just start the workshop.
Okay, hello and welcome to the online workshop Basic of Modern Calligraphy. I am a freelance artist for over 7 years, but I loved letters since I was a child, even before I went to school. And yeah, today I will show you my passion about letters and teach you some modern calligraphy. I am from Germany. Perhaps you want to tell me where are you guys all from? I want to know this.
So that's great.
Oh,
Actually,
please talk slower.
yeah, that was for me. I think so. I'm sorry guys
Okay.
if I was a little bit faster, but thank you for bearing with me and I took the feedback. So it's great that people are telling us about from where they are. So please continue, Nicole.
So cool. London, India, we have Costa Rica, Panama, India, Nepal. Wow. So cool. And some people talk German, I hear. Yeah, very nice. Okay, let's start the workshop. I put some sheets in the actions. You can download it. I didn't know if this has worked. Can you check this perhaps? And yeah, then you can download it and work with me through these guide sheets. The key takeaways for today for these sessions are the brief of tools using during calligraphy, how to warm up before starting the artwork, the meaning of modern calligraphy, and how to compare traditional and modern style. First, I want to start with a brief of tools. I will show you what tools I use today. I use a nib holder like this. It's a very basic nib holder, and there are really a lot of nibs for you to choose. For modern calligraphy, these are all pointed pen nibs. I prefer this nib. I don't know if it's focused. Can you see it? Yes, now it's focused. Yeah. This is the pointed nib from Kuretake. It calls G-Pen nib from Kuretake. This is my all-time favorite. I use for all my work, and yes, I love it. And these are some other kinds. They are not so important, just for show. You can also use a pen holder like this. Couldn't see the sheets. Oh, the sheets maybe in the actions. The worksheets. I just checked this. I don't know. I send a link, a call to action link. I don't know if it's worked.
Yeah, so you can share it via the link, call to action.
Is the link already in the options or not?
No, it's not in the options, but you can share it on the chat as well.
Where can I share it?
On the chat section, you know. You can directly type it in the chat.
Okay, I will try this. Give me a second. Okay, now I have the link. And I put you the link in the chat. Hope that this will work for you. So try it and let me know. If not, if it will not working, we can send this per email later, and you do this at homework and you only look what I do now. Okay. So these are the tools. This is an oblique pen holder you can use as well. It has a slant angle and it's very good for copper plate or Spencerian script. But today we use this straight pen holder and the Kuretake G-Pen nib. I also use Zumi ink from Kuretake. It has a very smooth flowing and dries waterproof. I really love this ink. So new pens always have a protection layer on it. You can remove this, but you have to remove this first before you can write with a pen. You can use for this soapy water and a cloth and wipe it off. Make sure to dry the nib properly, otherwise it could start rusting. And then put the pen in the pen holder like I do, like this. Put the finger under the nib to not bend it, okay? Like this. And then you can put it out and in. Hold the pen holder however it feels most comfortable and natural to you. Don't use too much strength and relax your wrist to prevent minor injuries while writing. Now align the paper. When you have this it looks upside down. Is it right for you, or is it?
Yeah, it's
It's
visible.
mirrored.
Yeah, it's clear.
It's mirrored.
No, it's not mirror.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if this is your natural hold, please align the paper. Rotate the paper until the slant angle is this here is about 55 degrees, is parallel to your nib, like this. Then the nib can spread right and the ink can flow. That is really important to write modern calligraphy and also traditional style calligraphy. Otherwise, the ink cannot flow good and the nib cannot spread, and you cannot create strokes with different widths. Okay, then we want to warm up our wrist and hand and muscles. So we open our nib ink. And dip the nib in the ink. And now we do some circles clockwise and counterclockwise, first without pressure. Simple circles. The movement is a whole arm movement. You don't make the circles like this. You make the circles with the whole arm, a whole arm movement. You can make the circles clockwise and counterclockwise to really warm up. And you see my circles are very beautiful. So just try, be cool and not so strength with you. It's only a warm up. Now we do the same with the second line with ellipse, also clockwise and counterclockwise. To warm up and get a feeling for our nib and pen holder. So now these two exercises are very important because in modern calligraphy or in traditional calligraphy, these are the basic movements. You make a stroke from the baseline to the top without pressure. And in the second row, you make a stroke from the cap line to the baseline with pressure. And that's a really important basic in calligraphy. So let's do this line with no pressure and this line with pressure, and then we go to the other exercises. And here again, in the slant angle and without pressure and from the whole arm. If I do this like this with the wrist, I'm not able to do a good line. It will be like this. That's why we use the whole arm. Okay? It's okay when it's not straight. We just get a feeling for our tool and warm up. Okay. The second. the same, but from the cap line to the baseline with pressure. The whole arm makes the stroke. Are there any questions about this basic strokes?
So I think it's going great so far, but yeah, people have other questions.
Okay.
Guys, let us know if you have any questions or you want to ask anything about any stroke.
Yes, let us know. I will help you. Also, if you have questions about the tools or the writing, I will answer it. So these are very important exercises to warm up. I do this every time I start to write calligraphy. To warm up and to get a good feeling for my tool. So now we try to make a stroke without pressure upwards and a stroke with pressure down. Okay, and in one movement. Up, no pressure, down, pressure. Up, no pressure, down, pressure, and so on. Oops. And then you get a little rhythm and you say up, down, up, down. Or you can also do breathe in and out. It's a little meditation. Breathe in and out, in and out. And after this practice, you are very relaxed. Now we do this exercise. We go up with no pressure and down with pressure. Can I use my wrist for lettering? Oh, your arm can be stiff. You don't need to bend your arm or something. You only use your whole arm to make the writing movement, okay? You don't need your wrist. The movement is from the whole arm. Smooth and slightly up and down, up and down. For modern calligraphy, it's also important what tools you use, because not every ink works with every paper and not every nib works with every ink. You have to try several things. The paper I use is Clairefontaine print paper. It's very cheap and you can perfectly use it for exercises. For commission work, I will prefer cold press watercolor paper or lettering paper. But yes, you have to try it by yourself. What works for you? That is really important. Up and down. Now we do this down and up. And these basic strokes are repeated in the letter forms I show you later. And if you master these basic strokes, you will also master the letters. Now the last one is this. You go up. Here at this space, no pressure. When you are here, you add pressure. Up and pressure. And the thick stroke, this stroke, is always at a slant angle, at a 55 degree. The slant angle depends on the script you use. You can also write at 40 degrees or 30 degrees, but this is from the copperplate script, and copperplate is always between 52 and 55 degrees. So you can do this on one sheet of paper, or if you think I'm not warm enough, you can do this the whole day like you want. Perhaps I answer a few questions. I use normal ink pen, which I use for school for calligraphy. Yes, you can also use a brush pen or a normal pen. This is okay. You can also practice modern calligraphy with a pencil if you want. A pencil, is it focused? A normal pencil is also a good tool to practice modern calligraphy. You can apply pressure as well. You can no pressure and go down with pressure. You see the different stroke widths. If you are a beginner or if you want to practice a new style, always take your pencil and practice with this tool. Okay? But today I will show you further with the pointed pen. Okay, I think the exercise is ready. Now we can go to the alphabet. If you have not the worksheets, you can also take a simple sheet of paper. Where's my paper? And write with me these letters. So if you practice, put the letters on the right side for the right-handers and the clear sheet of paper on the left side, and then you look to the letters, and then you write it. Don't write and look. You know what I mean? You look and make the letter in your mind, and then with the letter in your mind, you put it on the paper without look again to the letter, okay? So for the A, pressure, up with no pressure, down with pressure, up with no pressure. And if you think if you feel you want to write the letter in another way, then please do this. I really love individual style. This is an important fact, that you really go with your flow. These are my letters. This is my flow, and you can use what you want. If you think you want to write the A like this, then do this. Is everything fine? This is modern calligraphy. I think if you create your own style, then it is modern calligraphy. Okay? So I show you my letters, and if you brave enough, make your own letter style. Okay, the next letter is the B, smooth and kind. Here the first ellipse is a little bit smaller, and the upper ellipse, the ellipse in the down part here is bigger, and always at a slant angle. Okay, so you can imagine you have a little snowman who is in the slant angle, and that is the letter B. Now the D, you can do it like this, or even like you want. And the E. Nice about the snowman, yes. The snowman works also for the letter E. The H. Now this is very free. I use no guidelines and nothing. You can use these guidelines if you if this is better for you, but you also can do this on a simple free paper. Okay, then the E and the J. Some letters have the same strokes. You see it here in the H is like an E here in front. And so you can practice the letters where they depend on the letter forms. Okay, so the D, the E, the G are round letter forms. These are straight letter forms. So it makes sense to practice the same letter forms. The sheets are working fine for me. You mean the guide sheets?
Yeah, exactly, I think.
Cool.
So no worries if you want to get the link of the worksheets again, we'll provide you at the end of the session.
Okay. So if you want me to show another letter form, please let me know. Write in the comments. I will show you some individual letter forms for each letter. And perhaps if we have enough time, I can also write names. The letter S is a little bit difficult because of its letter form. The slant angle is like this, and you go a little curvy, okay? And here it is important that the strokes are parallel. These are all strokes from the warm-up exercises. That's why it is so important to warm up. And on the letter Z, the biggest stroke is not on a slant angle. It's a little bit wider. Okay, if this is the slant angle, you make this. If you don't like this letter form, you can also do this. Okay, these are all the capital letters.
I think it looks fab, and you made it look so effortless because I'm sure it's not that easy, because when you made us understand, I mean, made me understand the angles while creating letters. So I think that's really hard, but you made it so effortless. So I think you guys learned a lot from this lesson, and we are coming up with more as Nicole was telling us to move on with another styles. So before we move forward, let's take a little bit break and give a shout out to Design Hill. And also, you have been speaking and writing from a long time. So Nicole, you can also take a break. So guys, we'll be back after like in 1 minute or 2 minutes or so.
Thank you.
I've always been creative and always been an artist. As a young girl, I used to paint rocks and I used to sell them for a quarter on the street. And I just fell in love with it. It just grew into a passion of mine. I started looking on the web and I came across Designhill, and they had a design contest to design a logo, and I entered it and I won. And I was like, oh, this is really great. I can pick and choose what type of logos or design projects I want to work on. And it allows me to be creative, keep my hands, with my tools and working. So it's kind of nice. It's really easy to use. You can scroll through the projects and there's sections that you could go by. It's really easy. There's a few clients who have come back to use the one-on-one projects. There's one client in particular, she owns a vintage shop, and I designed her logo, and she came back. She needed a design for a flyer, and she really liked the illustrations that I did for her, so she came back a couple of times with projects. I would recommend it, especially if you're a designer that's starting out and you want to learn from other designers, seasoned designers. It's a place to keep in the game and keep using your tools. It makes me feel great, and it kind of confirms that I should be doing this. And I love to see logos that I've designed out, and proud of that. And I think that the clients are so happy that their logo represents what they do and makes them look good. It's a collaboration. It's good for me, and it's definitely good for them.
So, all right, we are back again, and I think Nicole is all ready to, start
Yes.
with the new session. So, I hope you guys are also ready with your sheets, and make sure you tag us, after in the end of the workshop, so we would be able to see your work. So, please tag us on PrintShop Global and Nicole as well. We have shared her Instagram handle in the chat. So, let's continue, Nicole.
Okay, now we do the lowercase letters, and I think most of you have these guide sheets and we can use them. I will now show you these letters on the guide sheet. This guide sheet is great because you have the slant angle and you have an orientation for the lowercase letters here. It's a little bit gray, so you can better see where your letter have to sit on. I didn't tell you the terms about calligraphy. Perhaps I show you. The gray area here is the high for the lowercase letters. And this is the X height. All lowercase letters go until the X high, from the baseline to the X high. And all other letters also sit on the baseline, and the capital letters go to the cap line. Okay, so that's why we use these guide sheet. Okay, so let's start with the lowercase letters. The lowercase letters are also have different basic letter forms. Let me show you. The A, the C, the E are all round letter forms. And here they have the B, the F, the D, they all have these loops. And you can group them and practice them depending on their letter shape. Now today we didn't do this like this, but I think it's easier to practice a new style. Okay, so we have the A. You start with a stroke on the baseline, go up, and now you lift the pen from the paper and start a new movement. Pressure, no pressure. And you have this nice round shape, and then you go to the X high and do it like this. It's a little bit another letter form than I have it on the other paper, but it's also okay. If you want it more flowy, you can do an open letter shape, start at a baseline, make a C shape, and then make this. Then it's a little bit more modern and flowy. Okay, letter B. I always go up until the X high, lift the pen, and then do the loop. That gives me more control about the letter shape. And the C. And if you can see, always on the 55-degree, always where the letter touches the slant angle, you apply pressure. And always and ever with the movement from up to down, from I don't find the word. If you make a movement from, if you make an up stroke, no pressure, and if you go down, pressure. So the D is the same. Always lift your pen. Start at the baseline, lift your pen, and then you do the next movement. The F, the same until the X high, a loop, and then pressure, and a loop, and up. The G, lift your pen, and up. H, stop, make that loop. And now we go under the baseline that is a little bit bouncy and modern. The I. J. K to the X high and make that loop and pressure. And the small m. Here is important that this white space and this white space is the same, and the strokes are parallel. Also at the H, these strokes has to be parallel. And the N, also parallel at a 55-degree. Now the O. The letter O is the whole letter at a 55. If you imagine a clock, you have 12, 6, 9, and 3. And from 12 to 6 is the slant angle. Letter P. Go straight with pressure. Lift the pen and do this. Q. And the R. The S. And the W, the X, the Y, pressure, pressure, no pressure, up. And the small Z is like the big Z I show you before, it's like these, or you can also do something like this. Okay, and now I will show you how you compare modern and traditional style. I think you can practice the numbers later for you alone, and I will show you the difference between traditional and modern style, script style. Okay, in the traditional style, you have to be very accurate and exact. You have to exactly the slant angle has to be very exact. You have according to rules. I show you. I write the word calligraphy in a copperplate style. This is very traditional. And then I write it in modern calligraphy style so you can see the difference. Okay, this is traditional copper plate style. You see no flourish. You can apply flourish, but the space is really strength, accurate. That's really important in traditional calligraphy. Now I show you calligraphy in my style, a little bit playful and with a flourish and yes, flowy. So you see the difference. You can also vary the stroke widths. You can, the connective strokes here make wider, and you have so many possibilities to change the style. And yes, I think it's really important to do what you want to do. Take your time and improve your own style.
So I think it surely looks great, and I think there was so much value that you have provided in terms of precision and the exercises with your hands and to maintain the flow. So I think it was a great session, guys. Please share your feedback with us here, and we have been doing some polls throughout the session. So please share your reviews over there. So as we have 10 minutes left, so we would love to take your questions. We've got one question, Nicole, with Dahlia asked for it. So that question says, how to build your career in calligraphy?
This is a good question. I build it slowly, and I work really hard. I show my work on Instagram, and I get commissioned work really from Instagram and from some libraries here in Germany, and yeah. So from year to year, it grows up.
I hope you guys got the idea, like, keep practicing and, keep moving forward towards your goals. So next question we have with 7 upvotes is, if you could suggest best inks and nibs for beginners.
The best nibs is, or the best nib I think is the G pen from Kuretake, or the Nico G pen is also very nice for beginners. It's not so flexible, but is flexible enough to start with calligraphy. And ink, the best ink is, I think, the Zumi ink from Kuretake, or some other inks you really have to try out what's work for you. That's important. This is my favorite ink, but you can try it and say, oh, this is absolutely not my ink. And it depends on the person and on the nib you have to try.
So I think, yeah, it's pretty much it. It's same as, you have to find your own wand, just like in Harry Potter. So moving ahead. Yeah, so the next question we have is, can we use brush pens for calligraphy?
Yes, you can also use brush pens for calligraphy. It's brush calligraphy. It has the same basics. The strokes with up and down, pressure, no pressure is the same basic.
Okay, so it's actually feels great because we have such a great enriched session with a lot of techniques, and we made everything on time, and we can take up questions, so it's very great. So we have another question. Like we have a lot of budding artists as well, so they are asking, can I use my normal ink pen which I use for school for calligraphy purposes?
Yes, you can do this, but I think you can apply no pressure to this pen.
Okay, so moving ahead, we have a lot of questions regarding to the tools we need for it, and actually, it's actually a not a very much known thing. So that is why I think a lot of artists struggle to grow their art.
Yeah.
So moving ahead, the next question we have is how much GSM paper is good for it?
Good for what? For
I think
practicing?
I don't know the terminology, but I think this paper is made of something, like there are a lot different kinds of paper.
For
Yeah.
practicing, I use 80 gram paper, simple print paper, and for commission work, I prefer 120 grams or more.
Okay. So I hope you all can see me because right, and Nicole is also visible. So the next question we have is asked by Akanksha is how do we digitize these artworks?
Oh, I can do a separate course of how to digitize your work. I think you use the scanner and Adobe Illustrator, perhaps.
So, moving ahead, that's very true. Like, we can, of course, do a next workshop on this session because it's not that easy. So as you've told us, Nicole, like a lot of techniques and approaches to create such stunning artworks. So and before we started this workshop, you said one thing, while handling the ink pen, so which was very great, like hold it as you feel like, as you're comfortable with it. But of course it comes with practice. But are there any few hacks or some pro tip points for beginners which can be applied while holding the pens?
Don't apply too much pressure. That's very important, I think, because it hurts when you apply so much pressure and you, yeah, make this with a pen. No, smooth with your hand and yeah, have fun. That's really important. Have fun.
So yeah, that's really a great advice. So I think you guys have a wonderful session, and I think it was pretty insightful and knowledgeable. And we are glad that we could, took up so many questions. So once again, thank you so much for Nicole for doing this, with us. So moving ahead. This is the end of the workshop. So my next question, it's like not a question, but before we end this session, Nicole, we would like for you to share one piece of advice that stuck by your, artistic journey or your life that you would like to share with us.
A piece from me or from an artist?
No, from you.
Okay, let me
Uh,
search.
and any advice that that you really believe in, something that any advice or any code that you really believe in, and that you followed throughout your life or your artistic journey.
Ah, a quote. You need a quote.
Yeah.
Okay. A quote I believe in. Oh God, that's difficult. um,
You can also share any tips, any tips that you've
uh,
always followed.
yes, I know the quotes in German, but I don't know how to go to it in English. Yes, only do what you want to. Don't be so scared.
I think, yeah, that's a pretty great advice and kind of very hard to implement in your life, especially while you're putting out your work to the, everyone out and having such great peer pressure. So, and especially during this time. So, guys, I think we are coming to the end of this session, and thank you all for joining us, because it was, great questions from all of you,
Yes.
and we really enjoyed the questions. They were really great, and thank you so much, Nicole, for making us understand and making it so easy
Yeah.
and so approachable. So, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you
before
too.
we, yeah. So before we end this session, guys, we have lots of events coming up. So make sure you go to our events page and subscribe to the events page and keep a tab on the events coming up for artists and designers. So let's just say bye to each other, and I hope you all are doing great and keep safe. So
Yes.
thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you.
Thank you too. It was a pleasure for me too. And if you want to get more tips or something, you can come to my Instagram and write me. And yes, I will try to answer your questions. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
very much.
great. Guys, go give her a follow, and she also shares her, videos, and also they might be a great, actually they are very satisfying to watch, just like other satisfying videos on Instagram, while you're just scrolling your feed at night. So go give her a follow and learn from her. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Nicole. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.